Hello, all, and welcome to the first ever episode of Knapp Chatter. And I'm your host, Corey Knapp. And today's episode will be called The Man Behind the Mic, as I will let you get to know me a little better. I want to start by saying please bear with me, as this is my first ever podcast, my first ever episode, and I can hope everything will go smooth. But I know that's not always the case, so bear with me on my audio and my video on this one, as it may get messed up. And I'm shooting from my apartment, so I have no idea about the outside world noises. So before I say anything, I want to let the viewers know what they can expect from my podcast and from me, and how this podcast really came about. The idea of this really came to me when I was in this pause or this lockdown, whatever you want to call it, and I was just watching a lot of podcasts. Shout out to the Pat McAfee show, big inspiration from that guy. So I thought this would be a nice New Year's resolution to get one up and running, and I felt like it's something that I could do, something I would enjoy. So I went for it one night on Amazon. I bought myself a little mic here, and it's actually really nice. I don't know the brand. I could get that out at some point, but it's really nice. It's got a little arm setup. It just clamps to a desk, table, whatever it may be. Everything sets in there nice and tight. The mic, it's really good. It sounds really nice. Got this nice pop thing for it as well. And then I bought a webcam because my camera on my computer was really terrible. And this camera is really nice wide frame. So altogether, it only cost me about $100 to throw together. If it's something that maybe you think you're interested in, it's really not that bad. I got on websites and was looking at the best podcast, the best things you can do for a podcast, and all those different things, and best equipment. And I'm just going basic, best programs you can use to run a podcast. Right now I'm just using my camera app on my computer, and we will see how it goes. I'm also recording on Audacity. Shout out to them. That's a free program you can download to record your podcasts on. I'm going to get an audio clip from them, and I'm going to have to figure out how to do a little edit work myself. But yeah, that is how the idea kind of came about. I've always, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be like a sports broadcaster, or something in that realm. So this really isn't too out of the ordinary for me, but I am excited to see where it goes. Knapp Chatter, the name. My first Snapchat was Snapchat, so really it's been in my head for years, and it kind of just came about, and I like the sound of it, so that is what I'm rolling with, is Knapp Chatter. So the topics you can expect me to talk about are pretty wide-ranging. My goal is to just talk about things that I'm passionate about, and eventually get people on with me to talk about things that they are passionate about. You will not hear me talk about politics or religion, because frankly I don't know a lot about those. So I would like to think I know a lot about other things that I'm passionate about, and that's what I would like to relay to you. And some of those topics might be sports, might be movies, might be music, maybe a little poetry, a little food, and just life in general. I'm just looking to have a good time and kind of just express what's on my mind. So I hope this finds you well. My first episode was going to be out earlier in the week. I had a plan getting this thing out maybe on Monday or Tuesday. Today is Thursday, January 7th. And I'm hoping I can get this out today or maybe in the morning. My plan was Monday. I woke up. I was going to get it done after work. But I woke up Monday feeling like a ton of bricks, like somebody had ran me over. It was not good. It was really bad body aches, my back and my neck, and the worst headache, one of those headaches where you you don't even want to see the light. Went to the bathroom and turned the hallway light on, just so I didn't have to see the light. It was really bad. So I was very sluggish on Monday, and then much of the same on Tuesday. I was just taking some Dayquil and some NyQuil and some ibuprofen, things like that. I had Zoom calls for work on Tuesday, talking about it with some people, and I realized I should probably get tested for COVID. And so I set up my appointment for Wednesday morning. I went, and the process of that wasn't too bad. I rolled up to a little doctor's office. They came outside, rolled down my window. They gave me a little swab, put it in one nostril, put it in the other nostril, put it back. It wasn't all the way to the brain, so it wasn't too bad. It was a little uncomfortable for me because I'm not sticking things in my nose often. So, but then I just drove away. They called me back 15 minutes later. I was enjoying a nice bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and they told me that I tested positive for COVID. So I do have COVID right now. It is, that was yesterday when I got my test. So it's the next day. I will say from Monday to today, I'm feeling tremendously better. The body aches are still there, but the headaches are gone. Still a little sluggish, but I'm feeling. I was actually able to get some work done today. I'm getting this done today, so I'm feeling better. I know it treats everybody differently, right? Every person gets hit harder or worse. It just depends on the body, and who knows? I could get flipped upside down, and the next few days could be terrible for me. But I'm thankful right now to be a little younger and healthier, and that it hasn't affected me too much. And I'm hoping that it doesn't get any worse. And I hope that I'm hoping and praying that I didn't give it to any of my family members. Not that I didn't take this whole COVID thing seriously, because I did. I was wearing my mask out everywhere and doing the things I needed to. But I guess where I failed would be limiting where I was going and how many people I was seeing. I think that's where I failed at this point, and it got me. So here I am. It's a crap time because I was just about to finally head back into the office and into work, and now I'm on my self lockdown. Thankfully, I live alone, so I won't be giving it to anybody else. But that is what happened. This is where I'm at in this COVID world. We are still here almost a year later, and I am just now getting it. And if I got to get it so that instead of some older person, then so be. I would take that. But hopefully I can fend it off. And like I said, I'm already feeling better. I know people haven't been fortunate enough to feel better. A lot of people have passed from this, and it is a serious deal, but I am thankful for how I'm feeling today and hopefully moving forward. So I don't want to tell my whole life story, but I would like to give just a little background on myself and where I came from and how I got to where I'm at today. So grew up in Lansing, and Lansing boy living with my dad. My dad got remarried. We ended up moving out to Grand Ledge. We moved out to Augusta and Grand Ledge school districts in 6th grade. And there's so many things in life that shapes the path you go down and the man or woman you become. And some are obviously more important than others. And for me, a big thing and a big life-changing move for me, and I didn't realize it at the time, obviously, but was moving out to Grand Ledge in 6th grade, because I think about the paths I would have been on if I would have stayed in Lansing. Not that they would have been bad. I just don't think I would have been given the opportunities in life if I would have stayed in the situation I was in. And obviously I didn't have any choice of that. That was my dad getting married and moving in with his wife at the time, which was very thankful and a blessing to me. So, a moment like that was huge for me and shaped me in a great way. But I went to Grand Ledge schools, went to middle school at Hayes, shout out to the Panthers, and then went to Grand Ledge High School. Wrestled my whole life, so I was a wrestler, 4-year varsity guy there, 2-year captain, made it to states as a junior, didn't place, took 4th in the state as a senior. I then went on to wrestle at Olivet College. I started wrestling at Olivet College for about a semester to a year, and decided it was not for me. My grades were terrible, and not that I was a great student. I had like a 3.3 in high school, but my grades were not what I wanted them to be. I knew wrestling really wasn't a forever thing for me as far as a competitor, and I wasn't having the fun that I was in high school, and I wasn't sure going into college if I wanted to compete, but I knew I wanted to give it a shot because I didn't want to regret never trying. And so I did. I wrestled a few matches. I was 3-3 as a backup, and I learned some things and had some fun with it, but it just wasn't what I was hoping for it to be, I guess. And a lot of times, and you see it a lot, it's a full-time job. And this was Division III, so I can't imagine what Division II and Division I are. But I don't want to get into a ton of it. I don't want to get into a ton of wrestling because I'm going to have a whole nother podcast on wrestling. But I took a step back, and I stayed at Olivet College. I got my bachelor's in sports management, sports and recreation management. And then I started coaching wrestling after a year off of wrestling. I started coaching wrestling at Grand Ledge as an assistant. I did that for 4 years. And then I graduated college in those 4 years, and I started working. I just did I was doing summer jobs in between, college. In the summer I was working, I did I did a lawn care. I worked at American Reynolds doing tents and stuff. That was crazy hard work. And then I was like, all right, I did 2 summers of outside work. I said, I do not want to work outside anymore. So I got a job at Meijer, cashier at Meijer. I worked at Meijer for a little over a year, almost a year and a half. At that point, I graduated college. And I said, okay, what's next? I need to get a new job. I said, all right, I'm going to get a new job. So I just started applying everywhere. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a job in my field right away. But I was able to get a job at the casino in Battle Creek at Firekeepers. So I started working there as a cashier because of my money handling experience. I did that for a few years, got promoted to supervisor. So I just did that for a few years. I ended up working at the casino for 5 years. But all in that time, I started as the head wrestling coach at Charlotte High School. After coaching at Grand Ledge for 4 years, I'm now starting my 4th year at Charlotte as the head coach. And then I've also just got a new job. I've left the casino and got a new job at Grand Ledge High School. So yeah, I'm kind of working at 2 different high schools. But I got a job in my field as an athletic admin assistant there. And, things are starting to turn in that right direction. And so I can get the experience I need to do what I want to do, which right now would be to be an athletic director, a head athletic director at a high school. That would just be the first stepping stone to hopefully a long career. As I'm 27, still got a lot of time to figure some things out, but it comes quick as we are already in 2021. No doubt about it. It comes quick. I will say, talking about all these jobs, one thing that my dad pushed and I was very thankful for is he told me I had the rest of my life to work. so I didn't need to in high school. And I'm so thankful that he had put that on me, and I would love to put that on my kids in the future, just because, obviously everybody's not fortunate. People got to work to help out the family. And, I played sports. He said, as long as you're playing sports, and I played sports. And I only wrestled. I tell you, I wish I would have golfed. I hated golf as a kid, and even in high school, I didn't understand how you played it or watched it. And then as I got out of high school and started to end college, I've been playing for the last like 5 years, and man, is it so fun. And I wish I would have played in high school. I think it would have been a blast. It's just a very mentally challenging game. And here in Michigan, it's so hard to play that sport and be good, because you only get so many months to play unless you're doing some indoor stuff, and I'm not all that in yet, but you only get a few months to play. So I feel like every summer I go out, I'm trying to get my swing back, and by the end of it, I'm starting to play good, and it's like, all right, well, fall and winter's coming, so time to pack up shop. But it is a fun and challenging sport, to say the least, and I wish I would have done that in high school. But talking about not having to work in high school, I think high school is great memories to be made. And I think if you spend it working, it just takes away from that. Not to say that I was out going to all these parties and stuff like that. It's not about that. There's other ways to make memories and still have an excellent career, and high school career, and then go into college. And thankfully, again, I just worked in the summer and just enjoyed my time at college, because those are only 4 years each I had that I'll never get back, but I've got plenty of memories that'll last a lifetime for me. So that's really where I'm at with my life. I don't want to go too deep into it. Like I said, I hope that I can get some people on and we'll talk about passionate things, and that's going to bring up other parts of my life. I've already got a line of guests who I want to get on the show and talk about what they're passionate about, and some things that we're both passionate about. And a lot of it will be sports. I don't want to dumb it down. There will be a lot of sports talk on here, but there will also be some other really good talks, and that I am really looking forward to. So I hope this thing runs smooth. I just want to do the first couple alone and see how it goes from that standpoint of operational and viewer wise. If you do watch this, I am so thankful that you are, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be weird to go through this learning process of speaking to people that I'm, not actually talking to, but that are going to listen to later. Growing up, I didn't have the best time with public speaking. Even into high school and college, I did not enjoy it. But as I got out and got into some leadership roles, like a supervisor at my casino, like being a wrestling coach, and then a head wrestling coach, like, you got no other choice. You got to start, you got to start being able to talk. So then I was making fantasy football videos for my fantasy football group that we're in. We're doing just a little weekly recap, and I really enjoyed that, and I think that really helped push me to start to do this. So I'm excited. I hope you guys that listen don't cancel me out here after one episode. I promise it'll get better. I'm just learning how I'm doing. Like I said, I'm still feeling a little and I was going to cancel this thing and postpone it to next week, but I thought, you know what, let's get it out now, and maybe I could go through a little bit of my experience with COVID and just shed a little light on that. So that's really what I wanted to talk about in this first one. But before I do go, I've got to talk some NFL. It's obviously only going to be a shorter episode today, being the first one, and I'm all by myself. But we've got to talk about some NFL because it is wild card weekend, this crazy wild card. First time ever that we're having 3 games on each day, because there is 7 teams in the playoffs this year instead of 6 on each side. So only 1 team gets a bye. And I am a giant Packers fan, if you know anything about me. So my Packers will be kicked up with their feet on the table this weekend watching some football as they have a bye. And in the AFC, the Chiefs have a bye. Looking at the AFC, our 2 seed is the Bills. They are hosting the Colts. The 3 seed is the Steelers. They are hosting the Browns. And the 4 seed is the Titans as they are hosting the Ravens. I'm going to make my week 1 predictions here for the playoffs. Nothing crazy here. I'll take the Bills at home over the Colts. I look for the Colts to cover the 6.5 spread right now. In the 3-6 matchup, Steelers-Browns, this one's a tough one. It's in Pittsburgh, though, and you've got the Steelers, who seem to be at full strength after resting their players last week. The Browns keep getting hit with all these guys on COVID. Even their head coach isn't even going to be there. I just think the Steelers will find a way to pull this out, even though they've been playing really bad as of late. So I will take the Steelers over the Browns. And then the Titans and the Ravens, I think this will be the best game on the AFC side. Both teams 11-5. Ravens coming in on a 5-game winning streak. The game's in Tennessee. The Titans beat the Ravens last year in the playoffs. But I'm going to roll with the Ravens. I think they're hot. And for personal reasons, I need the Ravens to win. I'll take the Ravens as they are 3-point road favorites in this one. 3.5 points, actually. NFC side, like I said, Packers got a bye. 2 seed is the Saints. They'll take on the 7-seeded Bears. The 3 seed is the Seahawks. They'll take on the 6-seeded Rams. And then the 4 seed is the Washington football team as they'll take on the Buccaneers. I'm going to start with the easiest game for me, and that's the 3-6 matchup. Seattle over the Rams. LA is banged up. Goff might not play, more than likely won't. I think even if he does, I think Seattle wins, although Seattle's offense has been stagnant as of late and not been impressive. Buccaneers will beat the Washington football team, as much as I don't even want them to. Great D-line. It's been an excellent story for this Washington football team. Ron Rivera has cancer. He beats it. Alex Smith is the starting quarterback. He almost not only loses his leg, but his life. I mean, it's just incredible what this team has battled through, and to win this division, even though they're 7-9, they won the division. They're going to host a playoff game. Kudos to them, but I just think Tampa's got too much weapons, and Tampa's rolling right now. They're coming in on a 4-game win streak as well. And then the Bears and Saints, I think the Bears have enough to win this game, but I just don't believe in Mitch enough. I'll take the Saints to win, but look for the Bears to cover that 10-point spread that it's up to right now. That's really high for a playoff game. Obviously, the Bears only 8-8. Saints should get Kamara back from COVID. They should get Michael Thomas back from the IR, but Mike Thomas hasn't done anything for him all year due to injuries and some team issues. So I'll take the Saints, but I think the Bears do keep it close. And while I'm on here, I'll make my Super Bowl prediction. I tell you what I want. I want the Packers and Ravens to make the Super Bowl. That would be ideal for me, with the Packers getting a victory. What I think will happen is the Packers and the Chiefs will play for a Super Bowl. I know that's not a crazy pick. That's both the 1 seeds, but they are both really good football teams. Now, the Bills could make it out of the AFC. I think they're probably to me, the only team that could truly beat the Chiefs. In the NFC, the Packers got home field advantage, which I think is going to help them out tremendously. But anybody could win this. You could see the Bucs. The Bucs are a scary matchup. They already destroyed the Packers earlier this year. That could be a round 2 matchup. You could see the Saints have a great playoff run. I mean, anybody in the NFC really could come out. Seattle could if Russ becomes Russ and does his playoff magic. So you really never know. But I'm hoping Ravens, Packers. I think Packers, Chiefs. And if I had to say, I would say the Chiefs are obviously the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Best record in the regular season, 14-2. Packers 1 game behind at 13-3. So there is my playoff little prediction for you there. If you've got your predictions, please send them to me. Send them to me at our Facebook, our Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube. Get on there, follow us, send me what you think's going to happen in the playoffs. I would love to hear. And really, I'm hoping you guys can get on there and follow me so we can start building a bigger brand here and getting this out. Obviously, like I said, this is my first episode, and bear with me. It can only get better from here. I'm going to learn some things. I got to figure out how to edit this thing, and I enjoy your time. I will keep it short this time. I can't always promise that for the future, as I like to ramble a little bit, but thank you so much, and come back next week. I'm not sure what day I will have it up next week, but it will be next week, and we'll talk a little more football and possibly get our first guest on. So thank you so much for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. And like I said, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, follow us all at Knapp Chatter. Thank you so much. It's my first episode of Knapp Chatter, the man behind the mic. Take care.